Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Hamilton Bulldogs Live. This is Bulldogs Live catching up alongside one of the craftiest young wingers in the Ontario Hockey League. I am so pleased to be joined by George Diaco. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, now this one worked out perfectly for us because you being from London, we have just had a giant announcement. I guess you could call it a jumbo announcement. Coming out of the Toronto Maple Leafs camp with a London area guy. The Toronto Maple Leafs have officially signed Joe Thornton.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How are you feeling about that one?
Hey, if you can bring some luck for the Leafs, I'll be on board with that.
So Joe Thornton, Jason Spezza, Wayne Simmons, Zach Bogosian, they've gotten a lot bigger and a lot tougher in just the course of a few weeks here. And Joe Thornton playing back close to home, I really never thought I would see that. After he began his career a Bruin, went to the Sharks, now becomes a Leaf. He'll play against Boston six times a year. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, actually.
Well, that one is pretty cool. And as we get this thing going, if you were with us a week ago when Avery Hayes and Logan Morrison joined us, we did our own version of Free Agent Frenzy. And I have been tracking the signings and where players are going to see how we did in that competition. Right now, I'm ahead on the scoreboard. I've got 2 points. I got Alex Pietrangelo to Vegas and Jakob Markstrom to Calgary. Logan Morrison is in second. He has a half a point because he picked Torrey Krug going anywhere but Boston. I gave him the half a point as he signed in St. Louis. And Avery Hayes is still waiting for a point. But if Patrick Laine gets dealt, he was on that train. So we'll see if Hayes can come up with one. But with George Diaco, George, I want to go back in time because this is the first time we've really had a chance to sit down and talk with you since you've been a Bulldog. And I would like to go all the way back to your time with the London Junior Knights, your under 16-year-old season. What was it like being such a big star on that stage, wearing the Knights logo that you grew up watching and really headed towards the OHL draft and hearing your name come up so much?
Yeah, so there's a lot of great players that's been in that organization. So just if you say I'm one of those players, it's an honor just to be in that class, right? And there's been so many players going through the organization and just to be in the organization, it's awesome.
Well, I mean, when you look back at what you were able to accomplish in your minor midget season, 52 points on 23 goals and 29 assists in 33 games. That's pretty spectacular stuff. And when in that season did you really start to hear your name connected with the Ontario Hockey League and being a pretty high draft pick?
I would have to say around every tournament. It was in the Lions, we don't get the most looked at. So every time we had a tournament, we had to show up, right? So our team, we were always the underdogs, and I guess we did kind of good.
You go from before I ask you about that, you get picked by the Hamilton Bulldogs in the OHL priority selection draft, 6th round, 101st overall. What were your feelings when you saw your name come up with the Bulldogs?
Oh, I was honored. I was so happy they picked me. It was such a great organization, and I couldn't ask for anything better.
And it seemed like your name really gained a lot of steam when you went to the London Nationals the next year because the GOJHL, I covered it before I started calling games for the Bulldogs. Had covered that league for pretty close to a decade. And you don't see 16-year-olds show up in that league and do the type of things you did. It was a really good team. You had a lot of talent on that team, but you show up as a 16-year-old. You played 47 regular season games. You recorded 18 goals, 24 assists, 42 points, nearly a point per game. As a 16-year-old rookie, you'd only played in one game in the GOJHL the year before. What was it like for you to be on that stage in London, your hometown, and doing that? And again, a legendary organization like the London Nationals.
Yeah, it's such a great organization, and I just have to thank my teammates. I had such a great team. We had an older team, right? So I was one of the youngest guys there. I think I was the only 16-year-old, and they led me the way I went, and then they were so passionate. They were so respectful. It was a great place to be. It was awesome.
And this is going to lead into our next question because Sister Lily 2006 says he's a proud Bulldog, and
of course.
as you made your transition from the London Nationals to the Ontario Hockey League. We saw it in training camp after you were drafted. We saw it last year in camp into the season. You have a really electric style with some sandpaper to go with it. But what was your transition like going from the GOJHL, which is a really high-end league, to the Ontario Hockey League? It seems like a lot of players really have that moment of, wow, I mean, we've already played high level. Now we got to step it up a whole nother element.
Yeah, for sure. From the Goj from minor hockey, it's a lot stronger and a lot faster. But then if you take it to the next level, the OHL, it's a crazy transition. It's a lot faster, a lot more skill, and it's a hard transition, but you make it work, right?
Absolutely, and you made it work well. Again, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 points in 55 games. You had a knack for scoring some big goals and assisting in big moments. A couple of times we got to see you hop onto a line with centerman Jan Yannick. What was it like when you got to go out on a line with somebody like Jan, who at that point was really the front runner for OHL MVP, and you got to see what he did and learn from that in live action? What was that like for you?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Like if you're on the ice with one of the best players on your team, maybe the best player in the league, it's crazy. Just follow whatever he does and try to stay close to him.
Yeah, I had trouble staying close to him when I was calling the games and he had the puck. He was all over the ice.
Oh yeah.
It was unbelievable to see. When you made the Bulldogs, when you got the official announcement, Steve Staios, Ian Mahar, the coaching staff tell you you're a Hamilton Bulldog, who were some of the guys that really took you under their wing to kind of show you the ropes of the Ontario Hockey League?
I knew some of the guys on the team before, like Nav Mutter, Jake Murray, Liam Van Loon. They're all from London, so I knew some of them. I met Logan in Calgary for the U17 camp, so he was nice to me. Like we've always been close like that. Bertuzzi just came, one of the older guys, talked to me right away. I had so many guys come up to me. It was awesome. Easy transition.
Is it ever a little intimidating to be around Navar and Mutter? I mean, you're talking about the most feared body checker in probably a generation in the Ontario Hockey League. Well, Riley Stillman might get mad at me for that one because he could be a pretty mean hit himself, but one of the most feared body checkers in maybe a generation, and he's one of the guys that you've known for years and is helping you make that transition. But do you ever kind of look at him and go, yeah, this guy is a bad hombre?
Yeah, people look at him, they're scared of him, they see him on the ice, but we hang out every single day, so he's nothing scared of me.
Jake Murray says the same thing. When he's off the ice and he's around his friends, he's not scary at all.
Oh, yeah. Friendly giant.
Yeah, well, yeah, he absolutely is until that switch flips. And
oh, for sure.
You know what? There's a lot of Riley Stillman in him, and that might serve him well. Stillman now former Bulldog with the Florida Panthers. Do you remember a couple of moments that stood out for you this season with the Bulldogs, and what those moments would be?
I'd say my first goal was a big one. It took me a while to get there, 15 games, but once it happened, it was a lot of weight off my chest, that's for sure.
And 15 games, you scored 5 over your next 40. And again, it was some of the timing of your goals. You had a knack for coming up in big situations. Has that just always been something that you want the puck on your stick in a big moment? Because we saw it several times this year where you'd make a play, you'd score a goal, and the bench would just feed off of it.
Yeah. I like just having a little pressure on my stick sometimes. It's kind of fun, actually, if it's a tight game, you have the puck, so all the eyes are on you, right? So
I grew up as a defenseman. That was never my forte. I wanted the puck off my stick.
Yeah.
Situation. Just get it off the glass and let the talent do it.
Yeah.
that was always my best go-to. When you play in the Ontario Hockey League, I think a lot of people don't realize the transition that a smaller player has to make, because defense for years and years was built on size and strength. And now the change in the rules after the NHL lockout and how that made its way through all levels of hockey, it's really opened up for the smaller, faster skill guys, but it's also created a generation of defensemen that still go 6'2" and are very mobile. What are the challenges for you as a smaller forward trying to be able to get in and out against big defensemen who've become very mobile? Yeah,
for sure. The game's changed a lot since even I've been playing hockey, and it's kind of going to more skill route. So it's you got to stay fast, right? You always got to be agile and just have your head up. You can't get caught looking the wrong way.
Well, and that's always a thing, because we see it at every level of hockey that it's not even necessarily an intentional hit. sometimes it's just you get caught looking the wrong direction. Two guys run into each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's where a little bit of danger happens.
For sure.
Now, we're about 10 minutes into this. George and I are going to do something a little bit different today as we're kind of evolving with Bulldogs Live. We're going to go for another 10 minutes or so here. Then we're going to switch over to Instagram Live. So I hope you'll join us there as well. If you've got any questions for George Diaco, toss them into our comments section. I'll be reading them out to him. But as we get about 10 minutes in, let's remind you of what's going on with the new CHL app. 60 teams, one app, and you can get in on that by going to the App Store, downloading the new and improved CHL app. You're going to want to set your favorite team as the Hamilton Bulldogs. Why? Because you're going to get information. You're going to get access to contests and potential prizes that nobody else is going to be able to be in on. So you're going to want to be on the CHL Bulldogs app. That's a big deal this season, especially in a season that's going to be like no other. George, how are you preparing for the 2020-2021 season?
Yeah, it's been a long haul, right? So we've had probably 2 full off seasons, and all you got to do is just try to stay busy and keep on working on your craft and just stay motivated, right? So these are times that people get unmotivated and they fall off the wagon a bit, but you can't do that.
I know that it was tough at the end of the season because we were all there on the bus when we got the phone call that we had to turn around, and then it kind of had that feeling of, things are moving quickly that we have no control over. And the Bulldogs had really found their offensive stride, and everybody, it seems that I talked to, George, really felt that this team had an opening in the OHL playoffs. They could really be a surprise team. How tough was it to see the season kind of get pulled away at that moment, just as it felt like the team was really starting to come together?
Yeah, for sure. No one wants to see the bus turn around on our way to Kingston and the season ending like that. But I really thought that we were clicking. All the guys just got it together, and we were going to have a good playoff run. But stuff happens, right?
I had that feeling while we were on the trip that if we could just get past Toronto,
yeah,
well, maybe we're too far. They'll have to let us play.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way it works.
I was thinking that too.
Come on, one more. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. Stephanie says, hi, guys. George, what's your favorite thing about being a Bulldog?
My favorite thing is just wearing the yellow and black every night. It's just so fun in front of the fans and all my great teammates. It's just such a fun time. I can't wait to get back.
Speaking of the yellow and black, you see the flag behind George, the Bulldogs logo. We're both wearing Bulldogs gear. BulldogShop.com has all of the Bulldogs gear that is available, and you can go on there and get plenty for yourself. I know I've spent a little bit too much time, as you can probably see on that site myself. But, George, it just seems like the city of Hamilton, black and gold, the history of the Tiger Cats, moving it into the Hamilton Bulldogs, it's just so iconic in the city, and it feels like the fans, the organization, and the players have really all embraced that black and gold look.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's part of the city, right? So if whatever you can do to make it part of you, that's what you got to do.
As a Leafs fan growing up, did you have any issues wearing what some would say are Bruins colors?
No, I didn't actually. Everyone, my cousins that live in Kingston, every time they come watch our game, they're Bruins fans. So they like cheering for us because it looks like the Bruins.
All right. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Jared says, I think George is going to be a 20-goal scorer this season. Give this man more ice time, and he will make magic happen with the puck. George, when you see that from fans who are very dialed in with the team, who watch every game, listen to every game, what does it mean to you to see that you're such a fan favorite?
Well, it's an honor, right? If I can get people looking at me and they enjoy watching me, and it's an honor. I appreciate it so much.
Who did you feel you had a lot of chemistry with on the ice last season?
I definitely Ryan Winterton, for sure. We got a lot of points together, I'd say.
Now, moving forward, when you look at what this team is going to look like for this season, you lose 3 players. And it's kind of a catch-22 in a way, because you lose Isaac Nurse, Brady Johnson, Cade Landry. You only lose 3. but the three guys you lose are very, very hard to replace.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at the amount of talent that's going to come back. The 01s, your draft class, the 02s, the 03s that we saw last year, and now Jorian Donovan, Jonathan Malee, Patrick Thomas, plus some others that will all be looking for spots at camp. And then you bring in Artem Grushnikov, who signed out of the Russian Junior League on the back end. Is there a feeling amongst the team that this is one of the most talented groups moving forward in the OHL?
Oh, for sure. We talk about it all the time, actually. We think that especially this year, we got a good chance of making a long haul for sure. Like we have the talent, we just got to put it together.
This is a team that it really reminds me of the 2018 team, because when you were around that group, I didn't travel with them, but I was around them at home games, and they really enjoyed being around one another, and they were around each other on the ice and off the ice. This group has that same sort of feeling to it. You guys aren't just pretending that you like one another and getting through games together. This group likes to be around one another all the time. How special is that to have as a hockey team?
Oh, for sure. That's the only way you can win championships. Your team has to be together, and there can't be any little groups or cliques. You have to be as one.
It certainly looked like that's the way it was last season, because I saw it all season long. You guys, it didn't seem to matter who was around or guys moving seats on the bus, and it just felt like everybody was good with everybody. There was nobody that you had to worry about, and everybody just wanted to hang out and have some fun on the way to the games.
For sure.
Daniel jumps in. What was your favorite theme game last season? Mine would have to be the Ticats game. We had some great themes last year, and you guys got to rock some pretty nice-looking alternate jerseys. Yeah. What one stands out for you?
Yeah, the Ticats game, that was awesome. Those jerseys were so cool. And I like my the breast cancer game or the cancer game. Those jerseys were my favorite, actually.
I really liked the lavender. I thought those were great. And I'll tell you, in the broadcast booth, got a little dusty when I saw Jake Murray come out in full equipment to drop that puck. Yeah. That was
awesome.
Oh boy, that one was tough to call on the air.
Yeah.
But what did that mean for you guys to see that? Jake Murray, who has practiced with the team. I mean, you guys are from the same area. Mm-hmm. He practices hard. He works hard. He's trying his darndest to make a comeback, and you see the talent that the kid has. But what did it mean for the team to see him skate out onto the ice in full gear?
Oh, it was incredible. Before the game started, when he was getting ready, it was just like everyone had their eyes on him. It was just a great feeling.
That one and the one in London where he took the warm up, they were a bit of a surprise. I knew that Jake was going to be doing something, but I didn't know he was going to be out for the opening draw, and that's why when you saw him skate out, you just thought, it feels like it's so close we could get him back onto the ice.
Yeah.
What are you guys able to take from somebody like Jake who just works so hard?
Like you've obviously met him, and you just know his personality. He's the greatest guy. I'm with him 4 times a week, working out, skating, and stuff like that. He's so positive, and like he's awesome. A great person to be around.
He's the kind of guy who makes you believe that no matter what, you can accomplish anything.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If no one can, he can.
Absolutely. Again, and it just goes back to the amount of talent that's going to be on this team this season. And we'll start to wrap things up on this side as we're going to head over to Instagram shortly. But a thought for you, George, is you saw Jan Mysak drafted. What does that mean for the group to see another Bulldog taken in the first 2 rounds of the draft? I mean, your first line next year looks like it's going to have 2 guys that are likely going to play in the National Hockey League in Jan Mysak and Arthur Kaliyev. That's got to be a boost.
Yeah, for sure. And he's such a nice guy. Right when he came in, he always had a smile on his face. Me and him were good buddies, and I was so happy for him.
Nicole jumps in. You may have already answered this one, George. We'll give it for Nicole. Most memorable moment you've had in the OHL?
I said first goal. I'll pick another one. I would say playing in London, playing in my hometown. It was just I had the rookie lap there. It was just I probably had 300 seats there myself, my family, my friends. I had so much support. It was awesome.
The Diaco cheering section. I remember that. When you came out for rookie lap, I heard a roar in the building. I'm looking around going, what just happened? And then I saw you skating, and I put 2 and 2 together. Wow, a lot of people here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's probably my mom the whole time.
We saw that in a few places this season. A lot of fan support in London, a lot of fan support when we were on the Michigan trip. What did it mean to you to have so many people, friends and family there in London to see you play?
Oh, it's awesome. Like all my buddies, my family is just such a great experience for me.
Bulldogs didn't get the result that night, but that was actually one of the best games of the season. As an announcer watching, I'm sure as a fan watching, I'm sure for the guys playing, you guys played one of the best teams in Canada. I mean, it was stride for stride hockey. It was so tight right to the end of that game. You guys had to take a lot of pride in that one.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good game.
All right. So, well, thank you for being with us on this side. Now, George and I are going to sign off from here. We're going to head to Instagram Live, take over the Bulldogs Instagram account. So jump over with us, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments. George, thanks for joining us on this side of Bulldogs Live catching up, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
No worries. Thank you. I'll see you a few.